Hola Madridistas, welcome to the preview for our Copa del Rey clash against Celta Vigo. There are some very serious doubts surrounding this team, and there is no guarantee that we'll get the results. And it might not be smooth sailing, but we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to get back into track. And to break all of this down and more, I'm joined today by none other than Farouk, the fan favorite of this channel and whatnot. But before we get started, a quick shout out to our sponsors for this episode, Manscaped. They are the place to go to get any products that you might use in your daily routine. They got deodorants, shampoos, trimmers, basically anything that will help you look your best. So head on over to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 for 20% off free shipping. Farouk, talk to us, man. You do look extra handsome today. Have you been using any of the Manscaped stuff?
You trust, man. You trust, but then for us, it's just natural genes, man. What can we do? We want the lottery more or less. But then, yeah, Manscaped also enhances the beauty, man. So, let's let's not say too much, man. Seeing
Sure.
is believing, as they say, man. But yeah, man, I've been good, man. I've been good, man. I say it's been a bit of
Nice.
a hectic week, but yeah, so far so good.
Oh, good. I mean, I did catch some of the post-match from the El Clasico, and you look pissed. And I haven't seen you that pissed in a while. So I guess the main takeaway from that game was that, you were unimpressed with the tactics, the players, the coach, the board. Basically, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And that's been the theme of this whole season.
Definitely, that's the thing. Like, basically everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and I keep saying this. Like, yeah, like everyone knows how I feel about Carlo, but the point is, like, you can come and tell us a couple of days before the game, and be like, oh, we learned our lesson from the first Clasico, and literally go and concede two or three goals that are exactly carbon copies. It's just a control V scenario. It's really quite interesting how that could have happened, and also I think that just further tells us that, yeah, we know who Lucas Vasquez is. Everyone knows his deficiency. So it's not like, being exploited is something new, you understand? So this is the thing, like, we saw continuously how, also like the midfielders were outdrawn out of position because they have to, cover for the fullbacks and what is not. So this is just, down to both the management and the coaching staff as well. The coaching staff for not providing clear enough information and the management for, leaving the coaching staff short-handed. So, and now also we hear that Rudiger also has an knee injury as well. So, it's quite interesting, what's going on. But yeah, man, there's no need to restate everything that we talked about during the post match. But it's just, it's quite disappointing, honestly.
Yeah, over disappointing, man. Like I just wish we could maybe reflect on the whole thing. I know, like all of the points that you mentioned, it has been hashed everywhere on Twitter, on Reddit. We don't need to discuss it, but are there any solutions? Can we actually salvage this season going forward?
I mean, I definitely, I do think that like the game in the Super Copa doesn't affect our season. This is just my opinion. I feel like it's not something that is, that will affect our season. The game is over, the competition is over, and we move on from that. And more so, like, it's a competition that doesn't have any value, So this is the thing. But uh, we are 1 point behind Atletico Madrid, so we're still, fighting. We're still in the playoffs in the Champions League as well. So, like, I do think, like, we can still sort our teams out. Like, the individuals can still find a way eventually to, to gain that form. I'm talking about the Vinicius's, Jude Bellingham, and so on and so forth, because I don't think they will ever all be atrocious at once again in a single game. So I do think that doesn't have a lot of bearing on our season. I'm still optimistic about, what we can win this season, especially in the league. Maybe not so much the Champions League, but again, when you look at the Champions League, there is no team that actually, like, installs fear into you. Like in the past, we had like Man City on a point, we had Bayern Munich, and they've been really, really good. But this year, you just look and you don't feel that invincibility from any of those teams. And this is where Real Madrid tries the best in the middle of chaos. Like when there's chaos, we always find a way to rise to the top.
Yeah, yeah, that is for sure, man. Like I'm pretty sure we can get back into track. But the thing is, like, I think for me personally, the major doubt is like Carlo Ancelotti's favoritism, right? That is certainly something that we have to talk about. It's not exactly favoritism. I mean, he does not have a lot of options at right back. He does not have a lot of options at defense. But at the same time, like, aren't there better options? And he keeps repeating the same mistakes or trusting the same players to do something that they're not equipped to do. Like, I'm just talking about Lucas Vasquez and Choumini. Like, didn't we really have like better options? Couldn't we have maybe moved Valverde to the right back? Maybe instead of Choumini, Asensio. I don't know if it would have helped, but certainly having Valverde at right back and then putting in another midfielder would have helped, right? So do you think like Carlo is gonna change tactics just from this game, or are we just gonna see this repeat throughout the whole season?
Actually, this is what I also just saw now. I was reading yesterday that the Real Madrid coach decided to change the tactics for the big games, which means like they would not start with the front four anymore. They will actually find reinforce the midfield to give more presence in the midfield. This is something that I read. But then again, it's Carlo. Like it's just like, how should I say it? Like the players will change, but everything will still remain the same. It's not like you're expecting something groundbreaking in the scenarios. We'll still have Lucas Vasquez as a fullback. We'll still have Chouameni as a centre back, and these are things that opposition teams will still look to exploit. So I mean, although even if the personnel changes, I do not see too much changes in the style of play. It's just going to still be a lot of hero football, heroism, and ISO football as well. So it's just we have individual talents. They come to they perform at their best and they do their stuff. That's just it. Like no matter how much changes you see, as long as Carlo is still the guy, I do not think that we're gonna see a change in structure. There might be a change in personnel, but eventually it's still gonna be the same bullshit.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Like that, I totally agree with that. But the thing is, like, in the past, even when Carlo has had so many tactics, even when he has chosen the wrong personnel, there's always these players that bail him out. And this season, it somehow feels different. It feels like our players are maybe just injured or coming back from injury. They have had a stop-start season. Nobody's into like top form yet. That they absolutely carried a season, right? So
Yeah.
do you see a light at the end of this tunnel? I mean, the fixture list is just piling up, and then there's bound to be more injuries. But do you think it's all on the players to actually salvage this season?
I mean, definitely, I kind of agree with you in that sense. Like it's on the players to find something. It's on the players to create something. Like eventually, like because this is the thing. Like this coach, we all know. I mean, at least from my perspective, like he's never been a master technician since he came back for his second stint. What he has done best is like he's giving these players a blanket or let's say a platform to perform what how they perform best. Some people might argue that okay, Carlo hasn't put his players in the best positions to perform well or something like that, or what is not. Maybe not. That's also a question that's up for debate. But one thing we do know is that like he has given these players a lot of freedom. He has left them. I think there are very few coaches in the world that will give the players this much freedom. As much as they've gotten under Carlo Ancelotti. So I think they also have to repay him back. As much as whether we agree with his tactics or lack thereof. Like these are players that trusts in what he tells them, and he also trusts them in return to to deliver on the highest occasion. So this is just the thing. Like eventually they have to find a way to deliver that. That's just it.
Let's see if they do that, man. And it'll all depend on like how healthy they are, the fitness of the team. So I don't know. A lot of doubts heading into this second half, the crucial part of the season, but it is what it is. We've been in worse positions. We've achieved a lot more. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, that's the thing, Jacob. Like, I mean, we can talk about the fitness and this and that. That also goes back to the initial point about the fact that the planning, the squad planning has been really poor. Like, a center back has been needed because like this guy left and we did not get anybody. And sorry, Nacho left and we did not get anybody. And, we just left as Strom and he's going to be an auxiliary, center back. And that's what we're paying the price for that now. So, I mean, okay, Rodrigo has not officially been declared out yet, but it's been reported that he's suffering an ongoing knee injury, right? So the point is, as you're saying, the workload is getting heavier and heavier. So it's a matter of time until he crashes because he's the only senior center back.
Yeah.
David Alaba is coming back. We don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. So, you combine all these things together, and as you just said, it's just going to like leave a lot of question marks to be asked. And, we know as well who Carlo Ancelotti is like. Asensio, as he said, he's been with the team only for 2 months. So there's always going to be that seniority, that hierarchy as well, that, it doesn't matter how much good you perform, like as long as, there is the senior members ahead of you, they're always going to be ahead of you in the pecking order. So this is the thing. I do think maybe, who knows, maybe, the club has to go in for a body, like we need to find that one person that, will help us eventually, but it doesn't look like the club is going to do anything in January. I do think though, like if Rudiger gets declared injured, I do think that will force the hand of the management to move for someone.
Yeah, maybe. As long as it's even if it's a month-long injury, it's going to be bad news for us because Asensio is going to be put into the fray. He's going to get blamed for all of the shit, and then that's such an undeserved thing for the type of role of a player that he is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know how you handle the post-match photo. Like, just talking about this, even after all these days, I still get mad.
I mean, this is the thing, honestly, like, and honestly, like people are talking about Asensio and Asensio, like with all due respect, like it's not like Asensio is the second coming of Varane or Sergio Ramos. It's not like he's a solution to this. And when you look at what Carlo was saying, also it makes a point. Asensio has only played the real football for like 2 months.
Yep.
So like, would I, feel comfortable enough, to go to a high stakes match and play Asensio? Okay, yeah, like what's he called? Like Chouameni doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, but it's not like Asensio fills me with a lot of confidence as well. You understand? So I understand, like, okay, play centre backs in centre backs position and all this and all that. But what you just said right now, this is the truth. Like, when this guy gets, exposed to certain situations, he's gonna get hammered. And when he gets hammered, this is what Real Madrid does as well. A lot of blame is gonna fall under his soldier as well. So we also have to, understand that as well. Okay, this is someone that would emerge together with senior centre backs. Not someone that is here to like hold down the fort and like replace the senior centre backs. No.
Yeah, he's no Varane, that's for sure. Even though people
Yeah.
want him to be. Yeah. All right, I'll take a couple of comments. Sunil's in the chat. He says, Farouk is a fan favorite everywhere, not just this podcast. He also says,
Thank you, my man.
40 is apparently that answer at right back that we're looking for, and we've never tried out. I mean, do you think there's a chance that he features in this Copa del Rey game?
Who is that?
Fortier.
Oh,
Who was the
I
kid
mean,
that played
I don't know.
against Minero? I forgot his name.
It was Aguado. It was
Aguado,
Aguado.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do,
yeah.
do you think one of those guys might feature in this game? I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah. I think Aguado might feature in this game in place of Lucas Vasquez.
hmm,
I do think he might feature, but I don't know how much rotation will be done as well, considering the fact that as well, like we're coming off of a heavy defeat, so you need to regain morale and try to hammer home uh, confidence back into the players and the fans as a whole. So that's why I'm not too sure how much of people, how many people will feature, but I do think we might see Agado playing as a fullback, and I wouldn't be surprised as well if we see a centre back combination of Chouameni and Asensio, with Rudiger being rested completely.
yeah. I mean, I think we're sweating on the fitness of Kamavinga as well. So I don't know if Tchouaméni is going to be needed in midfield. So yeah, let's see.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's gonna be quite interesting. Like, I mean, even if Kamavinga doesn't play, I mean, like,
Modric
Dani
is there.
Ceballos is there as well, so it's not a problem. Like, you can play Dani Ceballos, you can play Luka Modric.
Yeah,
So I mean, the midfield is the place where at least we have a lot of numbers. Although again, we do not have varieties in the midfield. We have a lot of players that have the same profile, but or rather, I think the word would be better. Word would be diversity in the midfield. But yeah, we still have a lot of bodies that are capable to do a job.
that's true. Arctic says, Tchouaméni in central defense. Can't wait. I'm all for it. We'll win with Tchouaméni and Lucas in defense and then play as Barca's cannon fodder. It is how it
Yeah.
goes, man. Like, okay, so maybe do you want to break down what's wrong with Tchouaméni as a center back? We've seen him in big games perform out of his skin even as a center back. So what do you think? Is this just a confidence thing, or what is going on with him?
Yeah, I think one thing is confidence, and I think the second thing also is like Chouameni has not improved as a footballer, as also this is the thing. But I think right now his confidence is at an all-time low. I don't think Chouameni is as bad as we are seeing right now. It's just that I think his confidence is at an all-time low.
Yeah, so maybe definitely a game against Celta at home is one of the ways to get back the confidence and just keep playing him until he has a few good performances and then so he's ready. I mean, I guess we have no other
Yeah,
option apart from doing that.
I mean that's the thing. I mean, okay, now they're also talking about the return of David Alaba, so maybe we might get to see something. I don't know. It depends on also like how fit David Alaba is able to return to and how the form that he's able to show. Because I do think if he comes back, and he's able to get some play time, towards the month of February, we might see David Alaba coming back fully into the lineup. And if he does that, then Chouameni is off the leash of as playing as a centre back. But my fear is even as a midfielder, like with the confidence that Chouameni has right now, like how much of a positive can he be? How much of an impact can he have in that midfield? As also, this is also something because like he's not like a pure out and out, six. He's not a pure out and out destroyer. So this also will beg that question as well. So I just guess a lot relies on the form and fitness of David Alaba right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if you remember, like when Xiaomini came, he looked to be the answer to like a lot of our problems. He used to carry the ball forward. He used to play some final balls. Do you remember the assist to Rodrigo, the long ball over the top? I don't know who it was against. I think it was against Athletic. Either way, he used to be a much better player. It's not just that he has like stagnated as a football player. I feel like he has even regressed, and that is my
Yeah,
main
that's why I
issue.
say, like, the confidence, when the confidence has been, when the confidence is low, this is where you start to see, like, things that if comes easy to you previously doesn't come anymore, you understand? And let's not forget, this is a player that was booed. I think it was against AC Milan, or it wasn't against Borussia Dortmund that he was booed at the Bernabeu. So, like, these things eventually come and play, a role in the psyche of a player as well. So this is just the thing, like, I feel like he hasn't progressed, and all of a sudden he finds himself being played out of position, a lot of criticism come his way, and then one thing leads to another, and confidence is just totally out of the window.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, Ashik also says, okay, we have a couple of fun things to address here. So he says, rumor today is that Kyle Walker is being pursued on a loan deal. Have you caught wind of that?
I mean, why would you pursue Kyle Walker on a loan deal when? Okay, that's interesting though. I didn't hear that. I actually didn't hear that. Like Kyle, wow, that would be interesting. I don't even know what to say, but I don't think there's any element of truth to that though.
Yeah, yeah. I
That
mean,
would that that would that would
I
be
would be all for it,
interesting.
for sure. She would be a nice addition
But
to
I
the
mean,
squad.
Kyle Walker has been absolutely out of form this year.
Man,
He has been
but
absolutely
he's
out
going to
of
be better
form.
than Lucas Vasquez for sure.
Yeah, that's okay. With that, I cannot argue
And
actually.
this
With
is
that, I
coming along with
cannot
the
argue.
news. Like, did you hear that Relievo reported that we've stopped the pursuit of Trent Alexander-Arnold because he's going to be signing a new deal.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow!
I
I
mean,
didn't
it
get
is
this.
still Relievo. It's a tier 3 source, but still, uh, early signs not looking good for our right back situation.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, I told you as well. I think like he's using us for to get a bigger deal at Liverpool, whatever it is. But I don't know, man. Like I just feel like yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a bit it's gonna be a bit bleak, if he doesn't show up eventually. But I don't know. There are other players to consider. But it's just like like if Real Madrid have openly gone on the offense for for Trent in this way, it's gonna be a bit yeah, it's gonna be a bit funny if he eventually doesn't join.
Yep. And Ashik says, okay, this is about Xiaomini. He says, Xiaomini is not a CB. As a center back, you read the games differently than a CDM. So Carlito is basically responsible for completely destroying him, and Carlo is the only one who can rebuild it. I,
I don't know, man. Also, a lot also falls on the shoulder of Chouameni as well. Like he also has to put some effort into growing as a player as well. Both technically and also tactically as also. Yeah, but let's see. Again, I do agree to some extent. Like that being played out of position has literally like not helped with his confidence at all.
definitely. And it's not like when he was playing as a midfielder, he was given the framework to actually succeed. He was always left out to try. He didn't really cover himself with flowers, but still, he was not given the tools to actually succeed in that position. Yeah. I guess, yeah. Ashik says, yeah, the Kyle Walker situation is due to the fact that Kyle wants to leave City and suppose he wants to leave Pep at the same time, and Mrs. Guardiola.
Uh, I don't know, man. Honestly, well, let's see, man. I mean, the point is, it's a loan deal, so whatever happens, a body is a body eventually. Like a body is a body. That's the thing, whatever the case may be. At least a body is a body, and like players like Kyle have been done that, before. I'm not. I mean, if it was a complete transfer, definitely I'll be against it. But if it's something like a loan deal, yeah, the body is a body, honestly. And right now, we definitely need bodies,
Yeah, man. Even
honestly.
a one year deal, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Similar to how we got Joselu.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is like, getting. I also don't know what are the finances are also going to be involved with that. So like getting Kyle will, prevent you from doing what or not allow you to do what. So, but
Mm,
I think like, a short-term deal is the best because in the summer you can exploit what options are there on the market. And I keep mentioning, I think like a player like Pedro Porro at Spurs is a perfect player. I think he's 25. He's Spanish, he's going to be a very, very good, addition to the squad as well. But yeah, just a short-term deal, Walker can come in, he can be a body because right now we literally have zero bodies. The other option we have is to play Federico Valverde as a right back. And bro, like you're taking away your best midfielder to plug him in a position again. That also goes back to the initial comment we had about not put players in the best positions. That's why we're not seeing the best of some of these players as also.
Yeah.
I think rather than doing that, honestly, I would just have Walker. Walker is a body, honestly. The same way I just, want a centre back, like, a centre back that has that experience, has been there, done that before, honestly. Like, that's why even I'm not too against, the acquisition of Aymeric Laporte as well. If he can come on loan, no transfer fee involved, so honestly, it's gonna be something.
Yeah, I would totally welcome it, man. Like, didn't he actually play for Spain recently also? I don't remember, but he looked
Yeah,
decent.
Laporte, he plays for Spain, yeah. Laporte won the Euros as well with Spain.
Yeah. He looked very decent. Right. So should we move on to the Celta game? I mean, it was fun. All of this discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, eventually, like the discussions are still again towards Celta as well, because eventually, like we're talking about what to expect and what not to expect. But yeah, it's the Celta game. It's a game that we need to definitely win in front of the home fans, and I think we need to win comprehensively so that we can regain a lot of confidence. The players can regain a lot of confidence. So it's a game that we really need to play hard for. Honestly, we need to play really well. I think that's why I just think like we need to also start with a lot of our big hitters. The Vinicius, the Kylian Mbappe's. We really need to put them in there as well because like Kylian also has. Let's shout out to Kylian as well. He's starting to show that form of why we consider him to be the best player in the world at a certain point in time. So he's starting to show that form again. But I do think this game against Celta might be just a round of 16 Copa del Rey match, but it's really important game in the larger context, considering what happened, during the weekend.
Yeah, more than that, just there's always moments in the season where we played both Vinicius and Mbappe. They might have taken different roles in different games. For instance, Mbappe moves to the left, Vinicius plays more centrally. We've actually seen very decent games where they had good build-up play, but then they've reverted back to Vini touching the hug lines for the bigger games. I don't know. We just need to figure out the formula that works for us.
Yeah, that's true. And the problem about this is we have a lot of lack in continuity. Like there's always a disruption here and there. Vini getting suspended. Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo getting injured. This and that. So it's always been a bit of back and forth. So like because of this, we've not been able to get that continuity as well. With Kylian being absolutely out of form as well at a certain point in time. So yeah, I think this is just the thing. Like that lack of continuity has been a problem. But I do hope right now, if Vinicius at least can keep his shit together, at least not get sent off every now and then, I think we can create some continuity with this front three or front four or whatever it's going to be. And at least, that continuity we believe is going to win us games because that's the thing. Like, these are the best players in the world, so they will always find a way to, to make stuff happen.
Yeah. Three of the best players in the world, and if we still can't get at least put a couple of goals past Barcelona, then we're doing something wrong.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
But like what would be funny if Barcelona actually lose against Rayo? It's no piece of cake, as we all know. Are they playing Rayo at home or away?
I'm not exactly sure, man. I'm not. But I mean, this is the thing. It's Barcelona, man. You never can tell, especially with the kind of football they play. The kind of football they play, like it works best, in my opinion, against the big teams. When you go against the smaller teams, it's kind of different because like you don't get that much space to exploit.
Yep. Oh, Barcelona is against Real Betis. So they're already leading 2-0 at halftime. There you go.
No, but I mean that's a Copa del Rey game, though, no?
Yeah. The Copa del Rey.
It's not a league game. Yeah. It's a Copa game. Yeah.
All right, man. I was really hoping a Betis or something. The immediate game after they again win convincingly against us. If they start losing, then they're gonna pretty much lose for the next couple of weeks. So that was my hope, but it looks like that's not happening.
Yeah. I mean, the Copa game is fair. All good. It's in the league that we need them to sleep up a bit. And again, as I said, like the way Flick is playing as well, it's something that we saw the deep in form that they have. So I think it's something that's to be expected with the way they play and the intensity that they play at. So that's why I said I just still feel like we're gonna be we're gonna be there when the league goes down to the wire. We're still gonna compete.
Yeah. Ashik has a sick joke. He says, "How much do you guys want to bet that we go through tomorrow, but we get Barca in the next round and another 4 or 5 goal loss? That's what we are not shooting practice for Barcelona." Hello, Madrid, indeed.
Nah, I do think we go through and we get Atletico Madrid, not Barcelona.
Athletic.
Yeah,
So,
I
Farooq,
don't think we
do you
get
actually have
through.
hope for this year's Copa del Rey?
Uh,
I mean, Celta are going to be a
I
walkthrough,
don't know,
so
man.
they're missing
I
Iago
mean,
Aspas,
even when
Marcos Alonso, and
yeah, I
Gonzalez.
know. I mean, in the game against that, I mean, we might win the game tomorrow. I think we should be able to win the game tomorrow. Against Celta. But the point is, in the long run, if you ask me about the tournament as a whole, because I just feel like eventually, maybe when we have to play Bilbao, or Barcelona or Atletico Madrid here or there, like I do feel like we might not maybe be able to, push over the line because we've seen this even when we won the double, twice we still been unable to, like compete in the latter stage of the Copa del Rey. So like that's why like I still wouldn't say I'm confident about this season's Copa del Rey, honestly.
There you go. Yeah, me neither. I mean, I just hope we get these bigger teams later on in the Copa del Rey when we might have figured our stuff out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, man. Like, do you have any other notes on Celta? I mean, I'm tired. Like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna win this one. The players are gonna try to put on a show at the Bernabeu. Otherwise, they're gonna get booed out.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's Celta Vigo against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, so they're gonna come, with their full, full strength as well, because this is, their chances for getting a trophy. So like this is their shot at trophy. So it's not like also we have other shouts as well, but like this is their shot for trophy. So definitely they're gonna play, as strong as they can, and they're gonna give it their all. I'm not very sure about what to expect as a lineup, considering I don't know a lot about, their squad and the squad depth or lack thereof, but yeah, I do think that they're gonna give it their all, and it's against Real Madrid. You know how it is with this teams. Like they always play Real Madrid. It's like it's a final. Especially when they come to the Bernabeu. So I would expect nothing less. But I do hope that our boys are up for it, and they come and give all their best in this game, especially the big guns. Because I said like after that demolition that we got at the hands of Barcelona, we need to uh, get a lot of get a bit of confidence back. By scoring a lot of goals and playing really well.
Yeah, they were actually pretty decent at home and in the league this season. Even Atleti, they had to depend on a last-minute Julian Alvarez winner to actually go through, and then Diego Aspas had so many chances. But yeah, the worry for Celta this game is going to be him obviously missing. The whole attack still flows through him, but still they're going to find it hard away. It's not like they're playing at home. So yeah,
Yeah, true.
let's go for the ad break, and when we're back, we'll talk about the Real Madrid lineups. Take it away, Doris.
Hola Madridistas, I'm back once again to remind you that if you want to help and support this project of ours, this channel, you can do so by going to manscaped.com, using our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. You help us out and you get a cool product. This time I'm here to introduce you guys to the Chairman Pro. It is a trimmer that features two interchangeable blade heads, one called the blade foil, which is to get that super smooth baby skin, and the other one is called the stubble trimmer, for if you want to still have that little bit of stubble but look a bit cleaner and fresher. You can do both with the same trimmer. It also features flex adjust technology. It adjusts it to your face, how you shave. You can also lock it for full precision. Best thing is waterproof. You can shave yourself in the shower if you want to. It's completely waterproof. It features 75 hours of battery life. So if you're going on some kind of travel, you can charge it beforehand and it will still have enough battery for the trip. Also, if you're going on a trip, you can lock it so that it doesn't turn on as you go. It has an LED. It's a great thing, and especially now that Christmas is coming up, if you want to send it as a gift to your boyfriend, or if you're a man, get it for yourself or your brother, dad. It's a great gift for any man, and this bad boy can even get up to like 5 days of beard, so you don't even need to trim it down before you can fully shave it. This does it for you. So yeah, get this at manscaped.com. Use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Thank you for watching, and back to the video.
Oh yeah, we're back, folks. So Ashik has a couple of other comments. It's basically betting tips. Ashik bets that on Vinny getting a yellow tomorrow for arguing with the ref, and it's a decent way for any Real Madrid fan to make some money.
I agree 100%. Like, this is just it, like arguing with the ref, arguing with players, reacting to stuff. Like, I mean, betting on Vini getting a yellow, I think it's a bunker, man. Even if you lose for one match, the next match you make your money back. It's a bunker. That's just it. He wouldn't go 2-3 games without getting a yellow because of this talking back or it's saying something or reacting to something. Definitely, like, he's definitely just gonna get a yellow for guaranteed 100%.
Definitely, yeah. Especially if we go goal down and then we're up against it.
I mean, we could even be 10-0 up, but Vini will still find a way to get himself a yellow. We might be winning 1,000, he will still find a way to get a yellow. This is just the unfortunate reality.
Yep. I mean, it is like a home game. He's not going to be riled up by the fans. So I don't know if this bet is worth betting on this time around. Maybe an away game is probably a better bet. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, away game has much more value, honestly. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Ashik says Rodrigo will be the man of the match tomorrow. Why? Because he scored two last-minute goals against Man City when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. Man, like that is something that actually flies under the radar as Real Madrid fans. We always talk about Vinny, Mbappe, but Rodrigo's form, like, how has he been like overall this season? I've seen like some legit matches where he's outplayed both Vinny and Mbappe, but not every single game. It's just off and on.
Yeah, it's certainly. I think actually, like, what I think Ashik is trying to get on is that, like everyone just holds that game that you had from Rodrigo in such high esteem that it's kind of a blanket shield for anything or everything that's there. But I mean, even on the on our pod as well, we've criticized Rodrigo when it's right or wrong. But the point is, yeah, like, the Rodrigo also hasn't been given, as again, this is what we talked about, that the players putting the players in the best position as well. He hasn't been put in the best position in a lot of times as also because of that, there's only just as much that he can do or can't do.
Yeah, so, like, do you actually understand his role in the current setup? Like, let's just take the game against Barcelona, right? He was so wide out there, and it meant that he couldn't really combine with these guys in the middle. And even when he did dribble past a couple of players, there's no one else to pass to because the other two players were just hugging the left flank.
So far away. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So, I think so. Wouldn't a simple shift in tactic be, anyways, Lucas Vazquez is not going to defend. Let's just put him at the role that Carvajal had last season, where he's pretty much playing as a right winger. He hugs the touchline, and then Rodrigo just comes back inside. I think it's such a easy tweak, and then why don't we see it in games?
That's also something, but I just feel like eventually that also brings a question of the central areas. Like, even if these guys are hogging the touchline, then like you're creating a lot of overload on one side and leaving one side so blank. And I think when you have a turnover, that's going to be a problem as well.
Yeah.
I think having a turnover, like, that's also going to be a bit of a problem. I'm not too sure, honestly, about that, because I also feel like, the point is just, I do think like these three players cannot cohabitate. This is just my own personal opinion. Rodrigo, Vinicius, and Kylian Mbappe cannot play together. This is just what I think. For the balance of the team, I just think like these three players cannot play together. One of them has to go. And based on how
based on haven't you seen time and time again that Rodrigo is the one winning these balls back in the opposition half? He's the one kickstarting the attacks. Like, how can we drop him? And if we drop him, then our front two is just basically nothing. I mean, then I guess, is it Jude Bellingham who's going to be playing as a CAM or a right winger? Who knows?
I mean, then the other option is to ask Bellingham to drop deeper. Then this is just the thing, asking Bellingham to like have a deeper role and like pushing him away from the goal. This is just the other option, because right now, like, we are playing with a front four and you have a midfield too, which is easy to bypass, as we saw against Barcelona as well. You have a front four, literally one pass and you're away. Literally one pass and you're away. So this is the thing, like, you have to find a way to create that balance. So I do think, like, in my opinion, that four is just not unless if you're going to ask Bellingham to be a deeper player. This is just the way forward. Otherwise, I think one person has to drop out.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that one of the blueprints for our success last season in the Champions League games? Bellingham dropping deep. Everyone was criticizing him, saying, when the knockout games rolled around, he just stopped scoring goals. But then he was playing such an important role, breaking up attacks, building out from the back. I think we definitely have to go back to it.
Yeah, I mean that definitely can be something to go back to. I totally agree with that. But the point is just okay. The question is like, will they do that? This is the question as well. We don't know.
Yeah.
Like we're saying this, okay, like yeah, it's not like we also have like we're not like coaches or something like that. We're just seeing games from that we watch on TV and like making assumptions. So that's just the thing. But these guys, they train week in week out. The coaches see what they see and decide what they decide. So this is the thing. But like I just do feel like right now what we have is not working because of there's a lack of balance.
Yep. Totally agree, man. I don't know, like if we are ever gonna find balance this season. Let's see. Ashik is basically
I mean, when
going off on a rant in the comment section. I mean, he really basically summarizes the feelings of every single Real Madrid fan. How we bend over for a team like Barcelona, and frustration against players like Vinny, and when they make a legitimate claim for the Mickey Mouse individual trophies and don't mind like a little bitch. And if they actually focus on the game, they can actually, grab the bull by the horns and perform in big games. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
was Vinny always like this, man? Like, let's just compare maybe last season or the season before. Like, he wasn't this bad, right? In the bigger games, at least.
I mean, Vinny made his whole reputation as a big game player, man. Like Vinny has always been the big game player. Like he has showed up in all the big games that we've played, So I think he has a goal contribution in every single knockout tie that he has played, so far in his career. So it's of course like it's not like he's always feeding off of bottom place teams or shit like that. Now Vinny has always been a big game player, but yeah, of course, like I get what he's saying about the whole Ballon d'Or thing. But the club also fed into that.
Yep.
The club like literally allowed him to do that, or rather, the club helped him to do that, more or less, I would say. So this is just the thing. It's unfair, but no, I mean unfair is not the right word. Like it's immature, but yeah, I think like this is what they have done. Both the club and him. Like so, it's just we have to accept this and this is how we move on. But like Vinny, away from even that, like Vinny has always been like this. Like he's always been someone to complain, to fight with the opposition players. Like I mean, we remember when Pepe Reina was at Villarreal. Like Pepe Reina was literally on the bench and Vinny was fighting with him. I don't know if you remember then or not.
Yep.
And then of course like yeah, like it's everything is all documented. Like it's been there. Like every away game somehow. Like he always finds a way to get riled up or like it's easy to get under his skin, and like a lot of opposition players are literally using that to their advantage currently.
Yeah, I mean, I think we used to give him a bit more leeway because he was performing. Even in those games, he used to have a few more triples than he is having right now.
I do think like when the business end of the season comes, I do think Vinny will show up again eventually. You understand?
Yep.
I do think he will show up.
Totally agree, man. Okay, let's go through the lineups and wind this up, man. So Lunin's gonna start, yeah. It's not gonna be Courtois.
Yeah.
In defense, defense is the biggest question. Like I just can't even start to predict who's gonna start. Is it gonna be Fran Garcia and then one kid from Castilla at right back? Is that your prediction?
Yeah, I do think that we will see, Fran, and then we will see like Aguado on the right back position, and I think we're gonna see David Alaba come on in the second half or something like that. But I do think we might start the game with Tchouaméni and Asensio.
Yeah.
And like give Tony Rudiger a bit of rest because we have a game, an early kickoff on on Sunday as well.
Yeah, against Las Palmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think we might see that. It's going to be a very interesting backline. Imagine Asensio, Aguado, Fran Garcia, and Tchouaméni. That's like quite a backline.
Yeah, something I don't think even they might have played even in training. Such a weird backline, but it's what we got. But yeah, I guess things are easier to predict in the midfield. I definitely think Ceballos is going to start. So is Valverde.
Dani Ceballos, Luka Modric, Fede Valverde, yeah.
Yeah. So does that mean, one of the front three is going to get dropped out?
No, I don't think we're going to play with Vinicius and Mbappe or Vinicius and Rodrigo or Rodrigo and Mbappe, just I'm not sure. I think the third person might be, I think like Jude gets the rest this game.
Yeah.
So I think the third person might, but I'm not exactly sure who that third person can be. That's a question, but I do know it's definitely not going to be Hendrik. I think also it might not be Arda as well. I'm not too sure. So that leaves us with Brian Diaz. So I do think it's going to be like two of the bigger hitters and Brian Diaz.
Yeah, the front line didn't really look gassed after the Barca game, but yeah, it looks like Jude really needs a rest.
Yeah, exactly. I do think it would make sense, to give Jude Bellingham a rest. And then, you start with Vinicius and Mbappe or Vinicius and Rodrigo Mbappe, whatever the combination is, and then you pair them with Frank Garcia. Sorry, Brian Diaz.
Brahim Diaz. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't believe we've gotten to this point, man. Like, we've started trusting Frank Garcia for goals. But yeah, Ashik says we are actually starting tomorrow's game with 9 men due to technical reasons. We're not playing with a starting 11 tomorrow, it's a starting 9.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. But I mean, this is the thing. Like, I mean, I'm not like blaming people for lack of striking, because I do think this has been, a forte of big strikers, big players, all throughout history, like the lack of, striking back and stuff like that. Like you always like leave them up front because you always trust that they're gonna do the job for you and get the job done. But right now the point is that, like, at least in the last game, like it's really disappointing that no one got the job done. So I think that's why there's a lot of like shout about the fact that these people are not tracking back or like there. But I think like historically, like these big guys have never tracked back as also. But the point is they've always got the job done. So so I do think eventually when it clicks, like when it starts to click again, like it's all gonna work in that way, because like they're talented individuals, and if there's anything this team does is like individuals come to the fore. This is the only thing that this team does, nothing else. There is no tactics, there is no plan. The only thing this team has always been doing, even when they won the double twice, is individual players come to the fore, and I think this is just what's going to continue to happen.
Yeah. Moon 2002 is in the comments. He says Tchouaméni needs a player like Cruz alongside him, and this season when Dani Ceballos played with him, he played really well, but he can't control the midfield alone. I mean, for the bigger games, man, let's assume it's going to be tight margins. Would you trust Ceballos and Tchouaméni starting together, or Ceballos and maybe Camavinga? Like both.
I mean, the point.
Yeah, go ahead.
The point is, if you're talking about like Ceballos and Tchouaméni starting, or Ceballos and Camavinga starting, it goes back to the statement I made earlier about like you have to find that balance, because if Ceballos and Tchouaméni starts in a big game, we know that Federico Valverde and Jude Bellingham starts.
Yeah.
So that's already 4 players. So you need just 2 attackers left.
I mean, I guess this is assuming that Valverde plays at right back, or Camavinga plays at left back. Maybe that's an option.
But yeah, I mean, okay, in that case, like that's a whole different, that's the whole different mathematics. But whatever happens, like, I mean, in an ideal situation, like if you're starting a midfield of Dani Ceballos and Tchouaméni, or Dani Ceballos and Camavinga, which is something that I do believe in. Actually, I do think it makes sense, because like he gives a different profile, and I agree, with what Mo 2002 was saying, the fact that like maybe pairing him with Dani Ceballos would give him that will ease the pressure on him as well. So I agree with that, but again, it goes back to that issue of finding balance.
Yeah, it's not going to work out in the current setup that we have, no matter what midfield do we play. Yeah, great. All right, man. I guess that's it for the lineups. Let's go with the predictions and wrap this up then.
Yeah, man. I'll go for the 3-1 Real Madrid victory.
3-1. Yeah, I mean, for some reason, like all the news outlets went with predicting 3-1. Even the betting website. I don't know.
Oh, really?
It definitely feels like a 3-1. Yeah. That kind of game where we struggle initially and then get a couple of goals, and then they score one back, and then in the dying moments we somehow score the third. It's probably going to be Brahim Diaz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somehow feels that way. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, Ashik, Moon, and Sinead. But yeah, stay tuned for the post-match. Hopefully, it's going to be a much more positive post-match than the El Clasico. And last but not the least, a big shout out to our, partners over at Instagram, Real Madrid Committee. Go check them out. Some of the links are down in the description below. And if you haven't already, do give this video a like. It really helps out the channel. and helps us go on. And until next time, folks, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.